They saw the plane coming towards the lighthouse, towards a cave, which is right next to me. And they went out on a cliff. Eventually, they started to fire guns at the plane, and it went on for a few minutes, you know. And the plane then turned out towards the ocean and continued going out until it left.
Jimmy, Sean P. wants to know what was going through your mind when the Jamaican government shot at your plane.
Ducking. There's two rules in rock and roll I've found. Never forget to duck, and never forget it can go to hell at any minute now. But yes, ducking came in handy that day.
They thought you had tremendous amounts of weed on your plane?
And all I had on was Bono.
Oh no! Bono was on board?
Bono was on the plane.
Wow! Oh my gosh!
I don't know what he had on him, but
it might seem laughable today, but 27 years ago, when members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, stationed in Negril, mistakenly rained bullets on a plane load of people, including Margaritaville's Jimmy Buffett and the superstar Bono of the group U2, none of the terrified occupants found it funny. The funny part might be, looking back more than a quarter of a century later, the fact that the lawmen at the time were very poor marksmen. As of the reported 100 plus rounds they expended, only 7 were able to hit the slow-moving seaplane. The second funny thing is that out of the January 16, 1996 incident came Buffett's song Jamaica Mistaica, an amusing ballad in which the American singer, songwriter, author, and businessman chronicled what happened during the melee and what transpired afterwards, and the fact that the track became the most played song of his 1990s repertoire. Dalton Hill, also known as Penny, a hotelier and operator of the Lighthouse Inn 2, who has lived in Negril all his life, was at his original property located adjacent to the Negril Lighthouse and witnessed everything that transpired that day. From our understanding, you are the man who has the information on that infamous episode in West End when his plane was fired on by members of the constabulary from the Negril station.
Well, I can remember that incident quite well. When the plane landed just outside of the lighthouse. It was a seaplane, water plane. And they landed about 1,000 meters southwest of the lighthouse, and they were coming up along the cliff, you know, at a good distance out. And I was not too sure who was in the plane, but only to find out later that it was Jimmy Buffett and
Bono.
From
U2.
And I said, shit. Anyway, the police always have a patrol along the road.
Yes.
Of course, they were on patrol, so it just happened when they were close by the lighthouse.
Yes.
They saw the plane coming towards the lighthouse, towards a cave, which is right next to me.
Yes.
And they went out on a cliff, but there's no way they could have communicated because it was a good distance off. So they made some gesture, signs or something like that, and they couldn't understand or what. So eventually they started to fire guns at the plane, and it went on for a few minutes, you know, and the plane then turned out towards the ocean and continued going out until it left. Later on I found out that it was Jimmy Buffett and Bono and them on this plane. So I thought it was, you know, very ridiculous of what transpired, but later I got some phone calls from international press because Lighthouse Inn is right across from the lighthouse.
Right.
So I got a call from, I think it was the Irish press, Irish Times. I got some from England. I don't know how they got my phone number, but they eventually got it because I'm listed, so I am right at the lighthouse, so that's probably why they called me. You know, some journalists was asking me many questions about what transpired and what have you. I told him I did not know too much other than what I saw.
Yes.
So up to this day, I don't know exactly what transpired. It was just over and done with.
Yeah. But when you heard the barrage of gunshots, you were at your lighthouse inn,
Yes.
original lighthouse inn. So when you heard of the shots firing, were you surprised, astonished, shocked? How was it for you?
Well, I wasn't so sure what was going on, but when I found out, I thought it was, to me, it was ridiculous because they could not communicate. Because I don't see them with any kind of in those days it was not much of a cell phone thing, or
Right.
you know what I mean.
It's a regular patrol.
It's just a regular patrol of people. So I just
So it was
thought
one patrol vehicle.
it was a patrol of about, I can't remember if it was 3 or 4 people in the
Okay.
patrol. I can't remember. They were kind of young police that
Yes.
I don't know if they had the experience as to how to communicate or what to do with a situation like that.
Right.
But eventually I never heard much about it again.
Right. So you never heard it on the news, never saw it on television?
I don't remember hearing it on the news or on television. I don't remember hearing about it.
So it didn't have any impact on tourism in Negril?
I don't think so. I don't think so. It never affected anybody to that. No.
But you heard the song that Jimmy Buffett recorded a few months after Jamaica Mistaica, where he said in the song that they were coming to Jamaica in a joking fashion for jerk chicken, and they were fired upon, and then he spoke of the apologies that they got after the incident from, I think, the tourist board, and one article said that the Prime Minister issued an apology, then Prime Minister issued an apology, and so forth.
I think I heard about the apologies,
Yes.
but I never paid it much attention either. All the whole scene was ridiculous.
Because it must have been scary
Well,
for you.
it was a scary incident. I remember very well that it was talked about for quite some time around in the West End here. The local people were very, very frightened.
Yes.
To see what transpired. And the word on the street was that everything was ridiculous. So we all just left it at that.
Yes.
I am so happy that nothing happened. Nobody was hurt on the plane, and it wasn't an international incident. Like I told a lot of people who had contacted me, international press, I said it was over and done within such a fast time that we just left it alone, and it died.
So none of the tourists who came here ever mentioned that they heard of it? Or?
No, not that I know of.
Yes.
Not that I know. I would have known because I get a lot of people at the restaurant.
Yes.
So I did not even hear about it again. It just went merrily on its way.
Yes, and
I only to find out yesterday that Jimmy Buffett died.
Yes.
And the most I can say is, God bless him and may you rest in peace.
It would appear as though that many persons never knew that Negril was the place where the incident took place, because if you read the news reports, you see that it was Jamaica. There is no mention that it was, West End in Negril, that the incident happened. So I suppose that's maybe why you don't get a lot of questions about that incident.
I would assume so.
Yes.
That it was kept very low keyed. There was probably reasons for everything, and it could have created a very bad scene and a bad international incident.
Yes.
So I am happy and very glad that it was taken care of in such a manner.
Yeah.
Apologies was well said.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
According to Buffett in his autobiography, A Pirate Looks at 50, when he and Bono safely taxied in the Negril waters, where they had come for some jerk chicken, they came under a hail of bullets from the police, who thought that his World War II twin-propeller Grumman HU-16 Albatross, bearing the name Hemisphere Dancer, was a ganja smuggling plane. Some of the rounds which connected shattered the windshield and damaged the craft's fuselage. What happened afterwards, according to Buffett, was a profuse apology from the then ruling P.J. Patterson-led administration, as highlighted in the song, which appeared on Buffett's 1996 album Banana Wind. In an article which was published in the Belfast Telegraph, Bono described the incident as terrifying. The article noted that the U2 singer, his wife Ali, and their children Jordan and Eve, at age 6 and 3, were lucky to escape with their lives after 100 rounds were fired at them. These boys were shooting all over the place. I felt as if we were in the middle of a James Bond movie. Only this was real. It was absolutely terrifying, and I honestly thought we were all going to die, Bono explained in the article. Bono was so shocked that he and his family left Jamaica almost immediately.